Just a day ahead of the second round of trilateral talks in Abu Dhabi, Russia rained the deadliest barrage of missiles and drones on Ukraine this year. Thousands of homes have plunged into darkness amid freezing cold. Our next report tells you more.
Explosions rocked Ukrainian cities as Russia launched its biggest drone attack on the heart of Ukraine. Kyiv's residential buildings are burning and suffering in bitter cold without heat supply. Kyiv says Moscow waited for temperatures to drop before unleashing a barrage of 71 missiles and 450 attack drones. The attack was nothing short of symbolic. Russian strikes hit the Motherland Monument in Kyiv, hitting the iconic Soviet-era World War II monument. Our windows are broken and we have no heating. Poor people. We are waiting for some kind of help. This is the first time we have faced such a situation. We don't know what to do. Everyone is confused. Russia's defense ministry claims its Iskander-M ballistic missiles destroyed US-made HIMARS, rocket systems in Kharkiv, and an S-300 air defense battery in Dnipro. Moscow claims 10 Ukrainian troops were killed in the attack. Russia's biggest assault of the year comes just a day after the end of the Trump-brokered halt on Ukraine's energy sites. Zelensky accused Russia of exploiting the US proposal to stock missiles and terrorize Ukrainians during the coldest days of the winter. Kremlin too claimed an attack from Ukraine, saying it shot down 202 Ukrainian drones. It also claimed control of a settlement in Zaporizhzhia. With Russia dialing up the offensive, reports suggest that Europe and US may pursue coordinated military action if Moscow persistently violates a future ceasefire. Reports suggest that the proposal has been discussed between Ukrainian, European, and American officials. Signaling Europe's continued support, NATO chief made a surprise visit to Ukraine. Just hours after the attack, Rutte joined Zelensky at a memorial in Kyiv, even as air raid sirens blared in the background. Russia's attack comes on the eve of fresh trilateral talks in Abu Dhabi. A harsh winter and relentless Russian strikes have put Ukraine in a difficult spot. Will the fresh strikes derail trilateral talks, or will it force Kyiv into submission in Abu Dhabi? The next few hours could prove crucial in deciding Ukraine's fate.
For more on this, we are now being joined by Olena Tregub, Secretary General at the Independent Defense Anti-Corruption Committee. She's joining us live from Kyiv. Thank you so much for joining us on WION. Ukraine is under renewed Russian attacks, and the visiting NATO Secretary General, Mark Rutte, now says that Putin is not serious about peace. How do you see things moving forward?
Well, I don't see things moving forward at all because Ukrainians, they have been skeptical about those negotiations because it's very clear that Russia is not ready to stop the war. And the mere fact that on the day before the negotiations in Abu Dhabi, they sent hundreds of drones. They are attacking our thermal power plant in Ukraine. Attacking residential buildings. Of course, this is not something that indicates that any ceasefire is possible and Russia is ready. So basically also interesting to see that before, when some big officials came to visit Kyiv, they would sometimes hold the attacks for one day. But you see, they demonstrated to Mark Rutte apparently that they don't really consider his presence important enough.
And militarily speaking, we're hearing that Ukraine is running low on ammunition and air defenses. Russia, some say, now has the upper hand, and Moscow has repeatedly said that it wants to achieve its goals in Ukraine. So just from a kinetic point of view and perspective, how do you see the war in the coming days?
No, I don't think that Russia will achieve its goals because, yes, Ukraine has a lot of issues with the delays of the weapon systems through the Pearl program, and but we make our own weapon. Now Ukraine made Octopus drone interceptor, which is AI-powered platform. Ukraine is making its own missiles right now. So it's Ukraine is moving. Ukraine is developing its defenses. Ukraine now appointed new officials who will be in charge of building so-called anti-drone shield. Their small air defense shield, which is something which is done on the lower altitude, comparing to their air defense, which are used right now using Patriots and so on. So we are building a system that would stand for years, something which we will be using next winter, hopefully, because yes, this winter for Ukraine was devastating, but the country is looking forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. President Trump says that good news may be near in peace talks, in the upcoming peace talks. Do Ukrainians see it that way? And what could that news be?
I think there will be no good news. And Donald Trump said multiple times that there will be some good news and there is progress. There is absolutely no progress. Those progress is only mentioned in the words of Trump, of Witkoff, but in reality, the war goes on as it goes on. Ukrainians being killed, cities being destroyed. Ukraine maintains the defense, and in general now we are looking at the second round of negotiations. But do you remember what were the outcomes of the first round in Abu Dhabi? There was basically no outcome. So why do we need to expect the outcome this time?
Yeah, I understand that. Thank you so much for joining us on WION. I look forward to speaking to you again very soon.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.